Every time the pressure rises, we play better. Let's go take down the champ.
An Ultiworld subscription gets you closer to the players and personalities you care about with game video, in-depth written and video analysis,
He's going to take off deep, but what he does is very simple.
documentary shorts,
And we've played Brute Squad before, and it just feels a little bit harder to lose this year.
and a whole lot more. To get your subscription or learn more, go to ultiworld.com/subscribe.
I think we were expecting to cut into the men's game a little bit.
You know if we're live or not? You know if we're live or not? What's the issue?
Why? Yeah, let's get this rolling. We don't want to keep Eugene here.
That's all right.
We're good.
Live at Ultiworld.com. We are here with Dartmouth head coach Eugene Yem. Eugene, you mentioned earlier the Western Washington game. You able to pull that one out on top, but otherwise, you all have largely gone pretty untested, at least as far as being in close games. What was it about UCSD that they were able to do something against you all that no one else has been able to?
I think they just doubled down on knowing that when the going gets tough, we look for our top players. I was trying to help out and trying to place other players in spots where there's other options. We didn't get to practice that as much, during our season. We're trying to bail out to other places, and UCSD really doubled down, tripled down, clogging wherever Jack was. I feel like everyone was covering them in the middle, and you can expect a lot out of Jack, but sometimes they can't do it all.
Do you think the way that UCSD was putting marks on in the zone on Grinch had something to do with that?
A little bit. I also think the wind also had a factor in that it made us hesitant in our normal system. I could kind of sometimes see it where it's just like, normally this is what we would do. I'm not going to throw it. I don't want to turn it over in midfield. So I wish it was maybe a little bit less windier so that we had more confidence in our throws. But, it's also the tight game. It's easier to make those riskier shots when you have a couple of breaks under your belt.
law was made before the game of the Dina versus Jack matchup. How special is Dina on the field? Are you able to appreciate that when you're coaching on the opposing sideline?
Definitely. I think, the last couple of years, there's always a hype of who Jack's going to face next. And it was here again. And I wish that, we don't test that. And, we've been lucky to win most of them. But I think this year, we were testing it over and over again because we were used to it working. And I wish, as a coach, I wish we went to our secondary, third options and stuff like that. But, that's how it is.
What was going through your head on that final point as UCSD had possession of the disc?
Just amazed at their break throws. I was on the sideline. Maybe it was too far because of the sideline cheers and stuff like that, just trying to yell to the marks, no around, and they just kept going around, and we adjust and, they're working it up. I was so happy to see the grit in everybody, almost getting these, laying out, getting right back up, trying to get the mark on. You can't teach that. That's just passion, wanting it deep down. Unfortunately, didn't go in our favor.
Something that Dartmouth has done well all season has been defense, but UCSD is kind of a unique style in their offense in which they beat you with reset passes, and not a lot of teams can do that, but they can just keep moving the disc from side to side and pick their shots. I know you've touched on this a little bit, but were there any in-game adjustments or even adjustments you tried to make before the game to try and battle this, considering how you don't get to play them much at all?
Yeah, watching a lot of game film, we knew that they like to do give and goes, especially Kelly and Dina and the other handlers back there. They're used to that. It wasn't as much as they relied on it last year. I think they got a lot smarter with it, sprinkling it here and there. We've practiced, switching off and I hope that we've contained it a little bit. The second half adjustment was on their upwind shots. They were good at dumping it to the break side, swinging it, and then ripping that big backhand upwind. That's how they got that first upwind break. So we were trying to adjust from a flatter mark to more around, preventing that, which I think it helped. They didn't get any more deep upwind shots, but then they worked the other ways around, so it's hard to stop them all.
You're graduating some big players this year. What's going through your head as you're looking ahead to next season and continuing to develop players in the system that you've built at Dartmouth?
Yeah, graduating big players, but hopefully we have enough, to run our system and been practicing it. There's a lot of times this year, maybe not at nationals, but other tournaments where I would be like, all right, I'm going to see what you do as a next step as a handler. And now person who was, a secondary cutter, all right, now you're going to be the alpha cutter. Let's see what you can do to get them prepped for next year. And then, helps them become better at these tournaments here. So hopefully those reps and hopefully the knowledge is being passed down. And then hopefully we'll get a good rookie class, enough with numbers so that we can slowly end the small roster and continue to grow as a program.
I think this might be a final question. Jack and Grinch, Caitlin Lee, both seniors, I believe, right?
Yes.
In their time at Dartmouth, have won 2 national championships, were 1 point short of a third. What have they meant to this program in their 4 years there?
As I said yesterday, having Jack, their presence off the field has helped. I know it has helped me a lot as a coach, since it's hard for me to make it there a lot. I live about an hour and 45 minutes away, so my time going down there is very limited, So I relied a lot on Jack and Grinch to help, teach our system and run practices whenever we can. And Claire Trope has actually started a mini skill sessions on her own to help teach, and I love that about this program, where we have leaders who are on the field will be helpful and run mini skill sessions, just getting everybody a little bit better, get their throws a little bit better here and there. I know there was a lot of difference between before Claire started these skill sessions to after. Just the crispness of people's throws breaking the marks made them so much more reliable on the field, and I hope that keeps it up. And I hope that Jack and Grinch's leadership in that way helps trickle down.
Where do you think they rank in the pantheon of great college ultimate players?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Yeah, where do you think they rank in the pantheon of great college ultimate players?
You know, they are up there. I I've only coached for like 8 or 9 years in the league, but you know, I think they'll be up there as legends from my heyday of like Gwen Ambler, Miranda Roth, of all those names that you keep hearing, you know, from back in the day. So I think they'll be up there.
All right. Dartmouth coach Eugene Yum from ultiworld.com. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Every time the pressure rises, we play better. Let's go take down the champ.
An UltiWorld subscription gets you closer to the players and personalities you care about with game video, in-depth written and video analysis,
He's going to take off deep, but what he does is very simple.
documentary shorts,
And we've played Bird Squad before, and it just feels a little bit harder to lose this year.
and a whole lot more. To get your subscription or learn more, go to ultiworld.com/subscribe.
live on ultiworld.com. We have from UC San Diego, Dina Ellie Kelly Iwamoto, Alicia Stown, and Carlo Mosca.
Hey, Graham Gerhardt from ultiworld.com here. This is for both the coaches and the captains. That final point, defense, all or nothing, everything's on the line. What was going through your heads at that point, especially considering you were going upwind?
Oh, yeah, you gotta put that down. All right, I'll start. I already told them, win or lose that point, it was one of the best games that we've been a part of. And so, just to play our game without pressure. And if we lost playing our game, great. And if we won playing our game, even better. So we were just hoping to get a turn and see if we get a chance to work it. And it ended up working out for us.
Normally we play and we don't know the score, and this was a weird situation where we knew definitely where we were. And I just remember repeating myself, it doesn't matter, this is just 1 point, don't think about it, don't think about it. And the whole time I was thinking just 100% throws. Don't throw it away, 100% throws, play my hardest.
I just kind of left and let Crypto and the other handlers do their very chilly, very solid upwind handler set, and it worked.
Carlo asked me to remind him at the beginning of the game to don't forget to play the 4th and 5th years 1 point at the end of the game, no matter what, if we're winning or we're losing. And so, double game point, I went up to Carlo and I said, hey, don't forget, play all the seniors. And he said, I got it, and they got it too.
Speaking about they got it, and the seniors themselves, obviously the program has been building over a couple years. First year where you guys were playing didn't make nationals, and since then the program's been really building. Do you want to speak about the culture as a whole and what you guys have done to get to this point?
Sure. I feel like everything was just kind of exponential from my freshman year, where we got down on ourselves really easily. If we were winning a game, we felt like we didn't really deserve to be winning a game. But we ramped up mentality, resilience, and we grew as a team, and I think it brought us to here where, win or lose, we were just so excited and positive and loving each other.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, speaking to that, it was really interesting. Every single year we took something from the year prior and we tried to build on that. So the first year I felt like we were really bad in wind games. So the summer homework was throw wind all the time. And then our third year was mental game, where we had the potential but we just couldn't get there. Somehow we would always lose the really tight games. So this year has all been about mental toughness and building on each other.
I think the rookie class that's seniors this year, especially our 4-year players, Leanne Go, Rebecca Ellis, Avery Jones, Jasmine Simmons, they all came in and put in work from the first day, and everyone else followed suit. And every year they came back better and put in more work, and I think that's what brought everyone else along with them.
Kelly mentioned the 100% throws in the last point. There were several times before that point where you all had really great opportunities to get that upwind break and couldn't quite do it. What was different on that last point when...
Did you like that?
Yeah, I did. It was great for the narrative, right? But how were you able to dig deep when it really was the most important and pressure-filled part of the game?
I didn't feel much pressure. I was just let's just play our game, see what happens.
It's hard to score up wind in this wind when you're playing a 2-time national champion. Every time we got close was a giant achievement, and some of those turnovers we just dropped right in the front. So you'd imagine eventually we would complete enough to get up there. It took them a while to get there, but I think they played just as hard as some of their other upwind points too, and they just completed that last throw.
Yeah, I think watching the upwind point just before and seeing how close we got, it's like we don't have to change anything. We just need to see the disc into our hands and it'll be in.
You guys spoke a lot about mental toughness, being able to be resilient. I think that showed in the Carleton game, and it showed in this one too. but I noticed you kind of ramped up as the game went along. There was a couple nerves at the very beginning, and you guys built into it. Did you feel was a turning point? What changed to help you guys really make that resilience more manifest?
No, Chrome. Having a huge foot block in right next to the end zone, and just seeing all of our players not giving up. I just said, we can't give up because no one else is. We're here to win. We're here to fight.
Yeah, I think when you start a game, you don't know what it's going to be. You don't know what the other team's going to do, and so you got to kind of find your footing. And then once you just get more comfortable in what the other team is doing, kind of get a better sense of what you need to do. Yeah.
Dina, we talked yesterday after you made several huge plays in order to survive that Carleton game, and you talked about what was going through your mind during those giant diving leaps or whatever. What was going through your mind when you caught that disc with your feet?
Well, I kind of everything kind of tightened up because I knew if that was a turn, that would, I don't know, it'd be hard to get back on D real quick. I mean, it just kind of worked out. I think it was lucky.
We spent a lot of practices working on that catch.
I saw the observer's face when you caught it, and I was like, oh, she's going to call it up. I didn't think it was going to be up. I couldn't see, but I was like, no way someone could have caught it.
I thought it was
Looked up from the side. Looked up on replay.
Nice.
Alicia and Carlo, we've talked a lot this season about your incredible defense, particularly your zone defense as a team. In this game, it looked like you were, to my eyes, running sort of a box and one in the back with a wall of three and a deep, whatever you want to call that. Is that a new zone for your team? Is that something that you intentionally had for Dartmouth? I'd love for you to talk through your decisions to throw that in this final.
So we actually threw probably 4 different zones this game in hopes of having them all look fairly similar, but do a slight change and see if we can catch them off guard. Most of them involved trying to take away their 3 best players and have the whole team try and beat us. It didn't always work out, but that was our plan. Our plan was we can't just give them easy forward throws, hucks or under. We'd have to try and make them work and swing it and use the break side. And they still scored most of their down. It's not like it worked wonderfully or anything, but it got us enough chances.
We mentioned the ankle catch from Dina, but she had, a numberless amount of incredible plays in that game. This is for the 3 of you, other than Dina. What's your argument for her being the best player in college women's ultimate?
It's funny because everyone sees us on TV and they're like, wow, she's having such a great game. And everyone on the sidelines like, classic Chrome. Got another D, got another flying foot block. We see this every single game. And it's really cool to have her as a teammate. She's not just a hard worker, but she's so selfless. We watched the press conference and they're talking about her huge bid in front of the end zone, and she goes, oh, well, someone else would have gotten it if I didn't. It's not like I did something amazing. It's like, no, I trust my teammates and we all work together. So she's a great player and she's a great person.
Yeah. I think, the best is rough. To just pick one person as the best. I know I wouldn't trade her for anybody, and I'm sure there's some other players, other coaches would say the same thing for their team. But you guys watched her play all weekend, and I wouldn't trade her for anybody.
Chrome, throwing it back to you. One of the things I noticed that you did in this game, in this tournament, in this season at large, is you really enjoy picking up the mark immediately if they're on their own end zone line. You being able to be flat on the mark there and sort of hunt for that foot block or that hand block. What has it been going through your mind, or even in those decisions where you're like, I want this at this point right here?
I just really, really wanted to get a D so we could – it's just you flip a switch and you're like, either they score right now or you get a hand block and we make a turn and we work from there. I think that's just what I was thinking every time.
Any more questions? All right. Thank you so much. From national champion UC San Diego, Dina Elmelik, Kelly Iwamoto, Carlo Mosca, and Alicia Stown. Thanks, guys.
Every time the pressure rises, we play better. Let's go take down the trail.
An Ulti World subscription gets you closer to the players and personalities you care about with game video, in-depth written and video analysis.
He's going to take off deep, but what he does is very simple.
Documentary shorts.
And we've played Bird Squad before, and it just feels a little bit harder to lose this year.
And a whole lot more. To get your subscription or learn more, go to ultiworld.com/subscribe.